Alright everyone, this is going to be a little update video on the wiring in my basement. Well, it's pretty much just lighting and everything, but there's some pretty decent changes that I made here. And as you can see with this light right here, this light is originally where the fluorescent light plugged in. And the fluorescent light is off. And now it's on because I put its own pull chain in. Goes in right there. And I have it hardwired to Romex. Just goes over there behind the heating duct and taps right into this box. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But I was much better off having it hardwired this way because when it was plugged into here, it wasn't even grounded at all, and that whole situation just wasn't really that good anyways. Like over time something bad probably would have happened, like probably either a ground fault or a short circuit, since it was in poor connectivity and it wasn't grounded at all, so it was pretty hazardous. So yeah, this is finally on its own separate circuit, and there's a before I did this, there's a little hole right there, like from a knockout, like here, as you can see there, and that hole was big enough for me to put the pull chain in. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the hole was meant for. So yeah, I just put the pull chain right in, wired it up, and got it working. So the other part of the wiring pretty much takes place in the other half of the room. Like an overall summary is that all the lights before, they all plugged into the outlets, but I changed it so that they're all hardwired to like the actual breaker. So no more plug-in lights anymore. Here's the first light. This is the only one that's got the globe. The rest of them are the regular standard base bulb holders. But yeah, so we got live Romex going into a junction box right there that I put in. Apparently the cover plate was only 25 cents, so that's pretty cheap back in the day. And then we got this little stub of Romex right here going into that light, while the last part of the Romex cable goes all the way over here right into this light. And this cable right here happens to be the main feed to the entire project that I did, while that last bit of Romex terminates right at this light. And this light has one of those special built-in hot receptacles. The receptacle there is constant. It's not wired where if you turn the light off, that turns off too. That's constantly hot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, another thing that I did is I put in this fluorescent light right here. And this is the only light that actually plugs in. It plugs in right here. Get my flashlight on. Plugs in right there. And that outlet right there is actually hardwired too. That's not a plug-in light, like sensor cord type thing. Oh, hell no. But yeah, it runs along there. I have it stapled to the wall joists. Runs along there and there. Got it stapled again. It taps right into this outlet right here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I also ended up replacing one of the Romex cables, since the original one that was here was really old, rotted, and partially crumbly. It was like covered in this really thick black layer of like toxic mold. I was like, ugh, gross. So I decided to change it. It goes right into this outlet right here. But as you can see right here, this is what the original Romex cable looked like. And this is the new one, so it's pretty much a before-after type thing. Excuse me. And I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but I replaced the outlet right here. In my first video of basement wiring, it was either my basement wiring one or my lights in the basement video. I don't remember, since it's been a long time since I've done something like this. But in the video that showed the original outlet, it was one of these black ones, and the bottom outlet, like the white plastic that you see here, was pretty much all gone and cracked, and it was pretty dangerous. So I replaced it, and it works like new. This one I haven't done to anything yet. It's still upside down, as all the other ones were originally, but those three, since I had to work on them, I decided to put them back in the regular position. But this is the only one that I haven't had to work on yet. And what plugs into it is my old Taetung wall fan made in January of 1989. It still works and everything. Yeah. It still works and everything. It still works like a charm. Yeah, it's still hanging in the same place. I haven't had any other place to put it, so it's still just hanging there. I still run it at times, because sometimes me and my band will come down here and practice. I'll run the fan and whatnot, so it's pretty refreshing during the summertime. So yeah, so that was pretty much what I did right here. And the main feed cable that you saw here originally was from a box right there, as you can tell by the original markings and whatnot. And coming out of that was a piece of live Romex cable that went along here and stopped at a box that was right here. And the box that was originally right there happens to be this box right here. I just moved it. But yeah, but what I ended up discovering that was strange was that, so the live Romex cable entered from under the box, while to the right there was another piece of Romex cable going into it, and that cable happened to be dead because inside the box, well, there was a cover over it, but I had to take the cover out to make the discovery. The two cables weren't actually connected. But what was mostly bizarre about this was that the box wasn't grounded. However, the cable to the dead cable that was coming into here had the ground wire connected to the box, while the live cable's ground wire was cut short. So it wasn't properly grounded, so I thought that was pretty bizarre. But anyways, the dead cable ended up running across and ended up stopping at a box that was right here. It's not the same position. The old box was right there. Then we got one right here. And there were two other cables coming out of that box. One of them ran off to the side and pretty much ran up against the wall and stopped right there. But like I said, so the dead cable was coming out of there, and it stopped at that box and like ended up splitting. But anything coming out from that box afterwards was dead after that point. So all the cables I'm talking about now were completely dead. They weren't active. They were deactivated. So it ended up stopping right there. Nothing else came out from the box afterwards. And I also want to make it clear that like the entire project and everything was practically hidden behind these white ceiling tiles. I had to rip a whole bunch of tiles down in order to make this whole discovery. And all the tiles are just all piled right here. I gotta clean that up at some point. I'll do it some point later. But anyways, the other cable that came through here ended up coming to a third junction box. I believe it was somewhere over here. Oh no, it was right here. You can see by the markings. And there was only one screw holding it in. All the other boxes had two screws holding them in. This one only had one. And that cable ended up splitting twice. So we had one cable going in, then two cables going out. One of them ran along the side and stopped at another box right there. And the wires were just sticking out from out of the box. All the other ones had covers on them. While the last cable ran way along here, over here, and stopped at a box right above the breaker panel. But yeah, most of these were completely hidden by all the ceiling tiles, but I was wondering, why the hell would this whole setup be here if it's not even live and it pretty much doesn't even go to anything? I'm thinking that it was probably supposed to be something at some point, because this entire basement in general was supposed to be finished at some point. But I guess the previous owners of the house just stopped and practically just forgot about it, and they ended up hiding the entire thing from the ceiling tiles. But I decided to take advantage of that whole setup and permanently hardwire these 4 lights. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that last one plugs into the outlet right there. And I actually added that outlet right there specifically for this light, for that light to plug in. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. Oh, and while I'm here, this is the box where I've been testing my fans. My most recent fan, well, pretty much the first fan that was here was the my Hunter Comfort Breeze, but that's now hanging in my bedroom. I decided to take down the low profile that's just stored in my closet for now. But yeah, I had my it was just hanging here for like about a month or two, and I decided, I want to put it in my room. So yeah, I'm thinking if I were to get more fans, I'd have to move this box, since the blades risk hitting this light, since it's like right next to it. So yeah. But yeah, these aren't live, so, because the whole thing just plugs in right here. Yeah, I ended up wrapping up the entire cable. But previously, when this fan was hooked up, that plug ended up plugging in over there. When I first set up the whole thing, I was going to have it plug in there, but this cord was quite long, and it was long enough to just reach right there. So I'm thinking, oh, I may as well just plug it in right there. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you. Oh, also, well, lastly, this is the last part. This involves the breaker panel. But so originally all the lights that were here that were plugged in were connected to the basement outlets panel. What I ended up realizing later, that the basement outlets breaker panel also is also wired to the range hood above the stove, as well as one of the outlets in my bedroom, specifically the one that controls my TV and all my game systems and whatnot. So yeah. However, this also controls only the fluorescent light. I'll demonstrate it to you right now. As you can see, the fluorescent got shut off. And now it's back on. While all 4 of these lights are wired to this breaker right here. And this is the same breaker that controls my fan, one of the outlets in my room, the entire front porch, the living room, as well as the dining room. And I think, no, not the attic. Actually, yeah, I think that's all it controls. But yeah, so there's that. Oh yeah, also the basement outlets breaker. I forgot that it shuts off the fluorescent light way in the back. I don't know if you can really see it that well from the glare of the incandescent bulbs. I'll shut two of these off to show you. Yeah. So yeah, it controls that one, as well as the fluorescent that's in there. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. So yeah, thanks for watching.